Welcome to the Bare Metal Cyber Podcast. Each episode brings you timely insights, expert analysis, and actionable intelligence to keep you ahead in the ever-changing world of cybersecurity. Subscribe to the newsletter at baremetalcyber.com to stay connected. And don't forget to visit cyberauthor.me, your one-stop destination for a wide collection of bestseller cybersecurity books. Equip yourself with knowledge from industry experts and stay ahead of the threats. Let's get started with today's topic. When smart gets sinister, taming the IoT rebellion. From smart coffee makers going rogue to surveillance cameras becoming spy tools, Internet of Things devices have transformed from helpful gadgets to hidden threats lurking within our homes and businesses. The convenience and innovation these connected devices offer come paired with significant cybersecurity risks, often exploited through overlooked vulnerabilities, insecure firmware, and crafty infiltration techniques. This chapter dives into the dark side of Internet of Things, examining memorable case studies of Internet of Things chaos, dissecting attack methods, and outlining practical strategies to secure your connected environment against an ever-evolving digital threat landscape. Devices gone rogue, IoT's dark side. Internet of Things devices are everywhere, quietly working in the background to make our lives more convenient. But convenience comes at a price, and that smart refrigerator sending you a reminder about milk expiration could secretly be plotting against you, or at least against your network. Connected devices sometimes behave in bizarre, unexpected ways, like the security camera that suddenly streams data to an unknown server halfway across the globe, or a baby monitor that picks up foreign conversations. Hackers love these stealthy compromises because Internet of Things devices often lack robust security and rarely raise suspicion until the damage is done. The sheer range of devices hackers can commandeer is nothing short of astonishing, sometimes even hilarious, at least until you're the victim. Attackers have successfully leveraged seemingly innocent gadgets, from internet-in-booked fish tanks to light bulbs and thermostats, turning them into launching pads for massive cyber attacks. These devices often remain unpatched and forgotten, ideal conditions for malware that silently infects entire networks. Internet of Things devices are attractive targets precisely because they're ubiquitous, poorly secured, and almost always connected, offering attackers easy access to valuable network resources. If you think your smart coffee maker exists solely to caffeinate your mornings, think again. Everyday household gadgets have morphed into unsuspecting villains, becoming digital zombies in botnet armies capable of crippling websites and corporate systems. In one memorable case, tens of thousands of connected DVRs and webcams were hijacked to carry out a distributed denial-of-service attack, knocking major websites offline and causing millions in damages. Most consumer-grade Internet of Things products have glaring security flaws. Default passwords, anyone? Which make them frighteningly easy to compromise. The stakes of ignoring Internet of Things vulnerabilities are surprisingly high and expensive. Hackers don't just inconvenience people by making their smart thermostats go haywire or their doorbells ring at midnight. They use compromised devices as entry points into personal and business networks. Once inside, attackers can steal sensitive information, conduct espionage, or hold critical data hostage in ransomware attacks. An attack leveraging seemingly harmless Internet of Things devices could end up costing thousands or even millions of dollars in damages and recovery. Surveillance devices present particularly sinister threats, transitioning effortlessly from security tools to spy instruments in the wrong hands. Security cameras, nanny cams, and even smart doorbells have all been compromised in real-world incidents, allowing unauthorized individuals to secretly observe, record, and share private information. Attackers often gain control of video and audio streams, turning tools meant to protect into weapons for blackmail, stalking, or corporate espionage. This misuse extends risks far beyond data leaks, creating real physical security concerns as attackers learn details of routines, floor plans, and sensitive business operations. Corporate environments are not immune to Internet of Things exploitation. Ironically, the smart office might actually harbor some pretty dumb security. Companies routinely deploy connected devices such as automated lighting, heating and cooling systems, and smart projectors without fully considering security implications. Real-world case studies have shown how attackers leverage these overlooked devices as quiet entry points, bypassing traditional security measures like firewalls and intrusion detection systems. Once inside, compromised Internet of Things devices can disrupt operations, leak confidential information, or create persistent footholds, posing significant threats to business continuity. Enterprises commonly overlook basic Internet of Things security measures, relying on default settings or skipping regular firmware updates. Such oversights make businesses prime targets for attack. A compromised smart thermostat or printer may seem trivial at first glance, but can quietly open doors to catastrophic network breaches. The interconnected nature of corporate Internet of Things creates opportunities for lateral movement, enabling attackers to escalate privileges and infiltrate critical business systems that have nothing to do with coffee or lighting. Tales of IoT mayhem, case studies worth remembering. Imagine your webcam and home router secretly enlisted into an invisible army, marching off to war against the Internet itself. This was the surreal reality brought about by the Mirai botnet. In 2016, the Mirai malware rapidly infected hundreds of thousands of vulnerable Internet of Things devices, primarily security cameras and home routers, leveraging their weak security and default credentials to quickly build a formidable digital battalion. What followed was chaos. Mirai launched one of the largest distributed denial-of-service attacks ever recorded, crippling major internet infrastructure providers like Dyn and temporarily knocking offline popular websites including Twitter, Netflix, and Amazon. Mirai didn't just expose how easily overlooked consumer devices could be weaponized. It showed the world just how fragile the modern internet could be when confronted by rogue Internet of Things devices. The Mirai attack underscored critical security lessons, still echoing today. The malware flourished thanks to manufacturers prioritizing convenience over security, shipping devices with easily guessable default usernames and passwords. Furthermore, Mirai's source code was later leaked online, spawning multiple copycats in ongoing Internet of Things attacks, a vivid reminder of the lasting consequences stemming from poor device security. Today, the Mirai saga continues to serve as a cautionary tale, emphasizing the importance of proactive device patching, changing default passwords, and network segmentation strategies. If you thought the Mirai attack was strange, buckle up for an even more peculiar Internet of Things escapade, the notorious casino fish tank heist. In a plot worthy of a Hollywood script, attackers managed to infiltrate a high-roller casino's internal network through, you guessed it, an Internet of Things thermometer placed inside an elaborate fish tank in the lobby. The device, innocently reporting water temperature back to a cloud service, became the unlikely gateway into the casino's broader network. Once inside, hackers quickly exfiltrated a treasure trove of sensitive customer data, including high-value gambler records, private financial details, and surveillance information. This fish tank breach highlights an essential yet often overlooked reality. Peripheral Internet of Things devices, no matter how trivial, can become significant entry points into otherwise secure environments. Many organizations meticulously secure their core networks, but forget about innocuous-looking gadgets, quietly communicating with cloud services. As humorous as the scenario might seem, the casino suffered significant damage, both financially and reputationally. The incident taught crucial security lessons about scrutinizing every connected device, limiting access privileges, and never underestimating the security risk posed by seemingly inconsequential Internet of Things gadgets. Yet Internet of Things threats aren't limited to consumer devices or quirky gadgets. They can also represent genuine threats to national security and critical infrastructure. Consider the infamous Stuxnet worm, widely regarded as one of the most sophisticated cyber weapons ever crafted. First discovered in 2010, Stuxnet specifically targeted industrial control systems used within Iran's nuclear enrichment facilities. By carefully infiltrating Internet of Things devices controlling centrifuges, the malware silently manipulated operational parameters, causing physical damage to the machines and significantly disrupting Iran's nuclear ambitions. The geopolitical implications of Stuxnet were profound, marking one of the first documented instances of digital sabotage resulting in real-world physical destruction. The attack exposed just how vulnerable industrial Internet of Things devices, previously assumed safe behind layers of physical and network security, actually were. The incident served as a global wake-up call, highlighting the critical need for heightened cybersecurity measures within industrial sectors and national infrastructure. Finally, consider a corporate espionage saga involving a seemingly benign piece of office equipment, the humble printer. In this case, an Internet of Things-enabled printer quietly betrayed a major corporation, serving as the entry point for attackers to steal sensitive documents and proprietary business strategies. Attackers exploited the fact that printers are routinely neglected, rarely updated, and often configured with minimal security protections. Once inside the network through the printer, hackers swiftly move laterally, extracting confidential information that ultimately compromised business operations. The printer incident starkly demonstrated how Internet of Things devices, often an afterthought in cybersecurity plans, can become the weakest links within otherwise robustly protected networks. It taught enterprises a valuable lesson about the importance of regular firmware updates, proper device authentication, and comprehensive network segmentation. The episode emphasized that security measures must extend beyond traditional computers and servers, encompassing every connected device, no matter how mundane or seemingly secure. Anatomy of an IoT attack: how hackers get in. Internet of Things devices, despite their slick designs and clever functionalities, often hide glaring security weaknesses under the hood. Hackers know exactly what to look for: open network ports, factory-depth usernames and passwords, or devices that have never seen a firmware update. When vendors ship connected products with standard passwords such as admin and password, it's like leaving a digital welcome mat at the front door. Similarly, unpatched firmware and insecure application programming interfaces practically roll out a red carpet for attackers, giving them multiple avenues to exploit and take control of vulnerable gadgets. Exploiting Internet of Things devices is as much art as science. Attackers methodically follow well-established procedures to infiltrate their targets. Typically, it begins with scanning networks for accessible devices, probing ports, and testing login credentials. Once inside, they abuse the inherent trust that networks often place in Internet of Things endpoints, using compromised gadgets as convenient springboards to access more sensitive resources. Devices under hacker control often connect back to hidden command and control servers, quietly awaiting instructions to launch coordinated strikes or silently siphon off data. Amplification attacks offer another sinister tactic made possible by Internet of Things devices' scale. Attackers commandeer numerous devices to amplify malicious traffic, overwhelming a target's servers or networks. Imagine thousands of tiny digital cannons firing simultaneously, creating a flood of traffic that can knock websites offline or severely degrade business operations. This method has proven frighteningly effective because it leverages countless devices worldwide, making the source of the attack nearly impossible to trace quickly. Stealth is key in Internet of Things exploitation, and attackers have mastered the art of blending malicious activities into routine device operations. Internet of Things gadgets typically communicate regularly with cloud servers or internal networks, generating legitimate traffic that can mask more sinister commands. Hackers exploit this behavior, cleverly disguising malicious data exfiltration or command instructions as standard Internet of Things communications. Because most Internet of Things devices lack robust monitoring or logging features, detecting these covert activities becomes exceedingly difficult, allowing attackers to maintain a hidden presence over long periods. Long-term persistence is especially crucial in Internet of Things-based cyber attacks. Attackers carefully select devices rarely checked or monitored, installing lightweight malware that quietly survives device reboots and updates. For instance, a security camera or thermostat running unnoticed malware could maintain access for months or years, periodically checking back with attackers and providing ongoing network surveillance. Such devices become silent sentinels for hackers, ensuring a persistent foothold within targeted networks. Once firmly entrenched, compromised Internet of Things devices become ideal staging grounds for deeper intrusions into corporate infrastructure. Attackers pivot seamlessly from the Internet of Things device to critical internal systems, taking advantage of lax internal segmentation and inherent trust placed in seemingly benign hardware. They use Internet of Things gateways to introduce ransomware directly into sensitive business networks, encrypting essential data and demanding hefty ransom payments. The interconnected nature of Internet of Things provides ample opportunities for attackers to escalate their attacks quickly and effectively, often without triggering security alerts until it's too late. Internet of Things devices don't merely serve as entry points. They also offer discrete data exfiltration routes. Because devices like printers, surveillance cameras, and even coffee makers routinely send data externally for legitimate purposes, malicious data transfers blend effortlessly into normal network behavior. Attackers exploit these subtle channels to siphon sensitive data quietly, sending stolen intellectual property or confidential information through pathways traditionally overlooked by security systems. Finally, large-scale, coordinated Internet of Things-based attacks exemplify the devastating potential these small devices hold when harnessed maliciously. Attackers orchestrate vast networks of compromised devices, dubbed botnets, to simultaneously launch powerful assaults like distributed denial-of-service attacks against major targets. The overwhelming scale, enabled by hundreds of thousands of Internet of Things devices acting in unison, allows attackers to achieve destructive results far exceeding traditional methods. Defending the realm: strategies for securing IoT devices. Firmware updates for Internet of Things devices often feel like the Wild West. Patches are sporadic, chaotic, and rarely straightforward. To tame this chaos, organizations must develop and enforce systematic device updating strategies, ensuring every Internet of Things device gets timely patches for known vulnerabilities. This includes evaluating vendors rigorously before adoption, confirming they adhere to strict security standards, provide regular firmware updates, and offer transparent vulnerability disclosure. Think of it as performing background checks before hiring your next digital assistant. You wouldn't onboard an employee without checking references, and the same goes for Internet of Things device vendors. Regular vulnerability scans further bolster defenses, proactively identifying insecure devices across networks before attackers have a chance to exploit them. Tools specifically designed for Internet of Things environments can automatically pinpoint outdated firmware versions, weak credentials, and insecure communication channels. By integrating these scans into regular security operations, teams can swiftly remediate vulnerabilities before attackers notice they're exposed. When it comes to controlling device access, organizations can't afford to hand out blanket permissions. Role-based access control is essential. Internet of Things devices should operate with the minimum required privileges, limiting their potential damage if compromised. Network segmentation offers another powerful layer of defense, isolating Internet of Things devices onto dedicated networks and preventing attackers from pivoting freely into more sensitive areas of your infrastructure. It's akin to placing devices in separate rooms. If one room catches fire, it's far easier to contain than if everything shares a common space. The zero-trust approach takes device access restrictions even further, treating every connected device with inherent suspicion. Rather than implicitly trusting devices based on their network location, every request made by Internet of Things endpoints should be continuously verified through strong authentication mechanisms. Effective provisioning and onboarding processes ensure Internet of Things devices meet rigorous security standards right from deployment, reducing risks associated with default credentials, misconfigurations, or outdated firmware before the device even begins operation. Constant vigilance is crucial when securing Internet of Things ecosystems. Implementing real-time network monitoring allows organizations to swiftly detect unusual device behaviors, alerting security teams the moment something suspicious occurs. Internet of Things specific anomaly detection solutions can differentiate between routine traffic and subtle threats, highlighting deviations from expected device activity patterns. Integrating these monitoring tools with security, information, and event management systems ensures comprehensive visibility, enabling security analysts to quickly correlate Internet of Things events with broader network activities. Incident response plans tailored specifically to Internet of Things threats are equally vital. Response strategies must clearly define steps to rapidly isolate compromised devices, contain ongoing attacks, and prevent the spread of malware across interconnected systems. Specialized playbooks detailing unique Internet of Things vulnerabilities, such as compromised firmware or hijacked communication channels, empower teams to respond decisively and effectively in the face of an attack. Encryption remains one of the strongest safeguards for Internet of Things security, protecting sensitive information from unauthorized access and tampering. Organizations must enforce end-to-end encryption standards, ensuring data transmitted between devices and cloud services remains secure at every point. Adopting secure communication protocols, such as transport layer security, is essential to ensure device communications aren't easily intercepted or manipulated by attackers. Properly encrypting Internet of Things data is akin to locking doors behind you, keeping out unwanted visitors who might otherwise stroll effortlessly through your private data streams. Protecting Internet of Things device credentials and keys with robust key management systems further strengthens defenses. Organizations must implement strict controls for handling authentication tokens, encryption keys, and digital certificates, ensuring they can't easily fall into malicious hands. Regulatory compliance frameworks such as the General Data Protection Regulation for Data Privacy or the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act for healthcare environments impose additional encryption and data protection requirements, reinforcing the need to prioritize secure management of Internet of Things information. Ensuring compliance doesn't merely keep regulators happy, it actively reduces risk by mandating secure practices across Internet of Things deployments. Building the ultimate IoT fortress, a practical action plan. You can't protect what you don't know you have. Visibility must come first when securing Internet of Things, making asset discovery and inventory management essential starting points. This goes beyond simply counting devices. Organizations need detailed information about each gadget, including firmware versions, network locations, and intended uses. Regularly scanning networks with specialized automated tools reveals hidden or forgotten Internet of Things devices lurking quietly behind printers or conference room TVs. Think of asset discovery as a high-tech treasure hunt, unearthing every overlooked gadget to ensure no sneaky intruder is hiding behind that forgotten smart speaker. Integrating Internet of Things visibility into existing security frameworks such as asset management databases and security information and event management platforms ensures comprehensive oversight. This integration helps security teams rapidly correlate suspicious Internet of Things activity with broader network events, swiftly identifying potential threats. When every Internet of Things device is clearly visible on your security radar, there's far less chance of devices becoming gateways for attackers. Security shouldn't be an afterthought. It must be embedded into every stage of the Internet of Things procurement and deployment process. When purchasing devices, security teams must meticulously evaluate vendor security practices, prioritizing companies that demonstrate commitment to regular updates, vulnerability disclosures, and transparent security standards. Procurement processes should also mandate clear guidelines ensuring devices meet minimum security requirements before entering your network environment. Developing secure by-degree Internet of Things guidelines guarantees that newly adopted devices are inherently resilient against attacks. These standards can dictate password complexity rules, default encryption protocols, and secure boot capabilities, ensuring every device starts life on the network securely. Consistently enforcing compliance with these guidelines prevents weak devices from quietly slipping onto your network, effectively minimizing risk from the moment a device is activated. Yet even the most advanced security measures crumble if users aren't aware of Internet of Things threats. Training humans remains critical, as even the most carefully designed systems can be compromised by a single mistake. Organizations should actively raise employee awareness about Internet of Things risks, clearly communicating how everyday devices can be exploited. Interactive, scenario-based training, such as simulated Internet of Things compromise exercises, engages users directly, demonstrating exactly how vulnerabilities can become real threats. A vivid demonstration of a compromised smart coffee machine in your office break room can effectively drive home security awareness far better than any static PowerPoint. Encouraging proactive reporting of suspicious device behaviors transforms every employee into a frontline defender. When staff members know exactly how to recognize and report unusual device activity, security teams gain a crucial edge in swiftly identifying and containing threats. Promoting a strong security-first culture ensures everyone understands their role in protecting Internet of Things ecosystems. Security then becomes part of everyday thinking rather than something reserved only for specialists. Staying ahead of Internet of Things threats demands continuous adaptation to rapidly evolving technology. Future-proofing your Internet of Things security strategy means keeping pace with emerging threats, regularly adopting new Internet of Things specific security standards and protocols. Organizations must remain agile, swiftly responding to shifting attacker tactics and newly discovered vulnerabilities. By proactively adapting policies, procedures, and security tools, your defenses won't be left playing catch-up in a rapidly evolving Internet of Things threat landscape. Advanced predictive technologies such as artificial intelligence and machine learning can provide powerful tools for future-proofing Internet of Things security. Artificial intelligence-driven security solutions analyze vast amounts of Internet of Things generated data, recognizing subtle patterns and predicting threats before they become full-blown attacks. Rather than reacting to incidents, security teams equipped with artificial intelligence-powered tools can anticipate and prevent breaches proactively. Participating in Internet of Things security communities and intelligence sharing networks further strengthens defenses, providing access to the latest threat intelligence, best practices, and collaborative solutions to complex Internet of Things security challenges. Conclusion: securing Internet of Things isn't a one-time project, but a dynamic, ongoing endeavor requiring visibility, proactive defense strategies, user education, and continual adaptation. From adopting zero trust and embedding security directly into the procurement process to training humans and leveraging advanced predictive technologies, organizations must remain vigilant. As connected devices continue to proliferate in our daily lives and business environments, a robust and evolving security strategy will determine whether Internet of Things remains a helpful tool or becomes a dangerous liability. The Internet of Things future can be bright, but only if we're prepared for the sinister threats hiding behind the convenience. Thanks for tuning in to the Bare Metal Cyber Podcast, your trusted source for cybersecurity news and insights. Remember to subscribe at baremetalcyber.com so you never miss an update. And visit cyberauthor.me for bestseller cybersecurity books that equip you with expert knowledge. Until next time, stay secure, stay vigilant.